Good morning everybody, and welcome back to another iteration of my Rarest drop series where I take your submissions and scour the internet for the rarest recorded drops in old school RuneScape history. Today we're on episode number 9, I think, so keep those images coming in. As always, if you want to submit an image for this video series, hit me up on Twitter, send me an email, or the best option is to pop into my Discord and leave it in the video submission channel. And as always, don't forget to leave the video a like if you do enjoy this series. It really does make the YouTube algorithm do nice things for me. I know it appreciates it. Anyway, let's get started. Now to start things off here, we have a very lucky player by the name of CoolJT4 who has shared their Kriara collection log with us, and we can see that they completed the log at kill count 189. Even if we ignore the Godsword shards because you don't really know exactly what boss they got them from, they still managed to get the pet, which on its own is incredibly lucky. The Kriara pet is dropped at a rate of 1 out of 5,000. They got it within 200 kills. On top of that, they got 2 Armadyl helmets, 1 Armadyl chestplate, 2 Armadyl chain skirts, and an Armadyl hilt, all in 189 kills to complete the log at one of the lowest levels I've ever seen. So a massive congrats to CoolJT4. That is a very impressive collection log, man. Now next up here we have an Ironman player by the name of UIM Xavveina who is playing during the Trailblazer League. In general, I haven't really been featuring Trailblazer content too much, but this drop is actually still kind of crazy even considering the 3 times drop multiplier that this player almost definitely had. Now this player was killing the Zamorak boss and something really interesting happened. They managed to get a Godsword Shard 3 from the actual boss and then got 2 Godsword Shard 2s from the minions. Now that is still pretty ridiculous. The chance of getting any Godsword Shard from one of the minions is 1 out of 170. And the chance of getting any of the Godsword Shards from the actual boss Zamorak is around 1 in 85, which means based on my calculations that's still about a 1 in 2.4 million chance of that happening. At least that would be the chance of getting a back-to-back Godsword Shard during the Trailblazer League. Well, that was incredibly lucky, and I do hope he did eventually get the Shard 1. Now before I continue here, I just want to give a big shout out to Surfshark. Surfshark has been really great to me, and they have actually sponsored my channel multiple times over the last kind of crazy year, which I really appreciate. So just stick around for 1 minute because by supporting them, you are supporting me. So anybody who has played RuneScape before knows how frequently players get hacked. I mean, at this point, honestly, I'm more worried about my RuneScape account than I am my bank account, which is kind of sad. Luckily, using a VPN like Surfshark can help protect you from malicious activity through the use of industry-leading encryption. Another feature I really like is Clean Web. This actually helps block out phishing attempts in your email address, which is another really common way to scam account information. Surfshark also allows you access to every Netflix library in the world, so if you want to come and experience some of Canada's exclusive documentaries, experience some of our culture, come on over to Canadian Netflix. There are no borders. So if you want to help out the channel, definitely go check them out with the link in my description. Actually, right now they have a pretty big discount on offer. If you use my link in the description, you'll get a 83% discount and 3 months for free. Now next up here we have a player by the name of Danyo17G who probably just had one of the best Basilisk Knight trips I've ever seen. This player not only managed to get 1 Basilisk Jaw in a trip, which is something I have never managed to do actually, unless you count that one I, swiped off the ground. So a couple kills later, this guy gets a 2nd Basilisk Jaw, and is that it? Well, no. About 100,000 range experience later, they got their 3rd Basilisk Jaw, finally put their phone in charge too. And was that the end of the story? Hell no, they got a 4th Basilisk Jaw in a single trip. That is crazy. We can see that they got around 4 Basilisk Jaws in around 200,000 total experience. When they posted it, they said they got it in around 100 kills, which seems pretty accurate. Now the chance of getting a Basilisk Jaw on task is around 1 in 1,000, which is to say that this player would have been probably happy with a single one, but somehow they managed to get 4, bringing them in a profit of 100 mil from a single Basilisk trip. Huge congrats, man. You are truly blessed. Now next up here we have a player by the name of AmIAlive who is doing a bit of Armadyl boss. Now not only does it look like they were doing it solo, they were also doing it on mobile, which on its own, that's already pretty impressive. So during the trip at kill count number 170, they managed to get an Armadillo chain skirt. I'm sure they're pretty happy with that. I mean, getting a God Wars drop on mobile is pretty impressive. Okay, so they go do another kill, and oh my god, they get another Armadillo chain skirt. So they already hit the back-to-back, so of course they gotta go for another kill. The supplies are looking good, they do another Kriara kill, and there it is, the Armadillo chest plate, the back-to-back-to-back. So not only was this player on mobile, not only was their battery nearly dead, they were at the end of the line, they managed to get a back-to-back-to-back of probably the most valuable God Wars boss drops as well. Now just in case anyone was interested, the odds of getting a back-to-back-to-back armor piece, being the helmet, chest plate, or chain skirt, is around 1 in 2 million, which I think is still pretty damn rare and impressive for the way these kills were done. Now, next up here we have a player by the name of Nix, who probably has one of the most impressive accounts I've ever seen. Now, first up here, this player is essentially a skiller account, yet they have 41 Slayer, and, well, obviously here they have the Chaos Elemental pet. Now, throughout Oldschool Runescape's history, there have been different techniques or minor bugs or other ways that you can kill monsters, get kill credit, but not receive any combat experience. Now, to be honest, I don't actually know how they did this, but this player managed to get the Chaos Elemental pet at level 3. Essentially what that means is they either gained no combat experience while going for the pet, or they gained so little that they still managed to remain level 3 before getting the pet. That said though, the fact that he has 41 Slayer kind of indicates that most likely he found a way to gain no experience. So obviously this one was about like 95% skill, 5% luck, but I still think it deserved a spot. So for those who don't know, the Chaos Elemental pet is one of the most common pets to get. If you kill the Chaos Elemental, it has a 1 in 300 chance of dropping it, which is like 10 times more common than most of the other pets out there. With that said though, Nix has gotten probably one of the rarest drops in the game, that being the Chaos Elemental pet on a level 3 account. I don't think there's many other people out there that have this, so it still counts, and a huge congrats, that's so impressive. Alright, so now we're getting into the top 5 here, and next up here we have a player by the name of AmIAlive, who has probably one of the best Corporal Beast luck I've ever seen. Now, I'm not really sure if this player has managed to get any sigils, but what they have gotten is a lot of pets. Now, the Corporal Beast pet is one of the rarest in the game, mainly because the Corporal Beast just takes a long time to kill. Especially if you're doing it solo, it just takes a long time. Now, the pet drop rate is 1 out of 5,000, but not for AmIAlive. On kill count number 292, they got their very first pet Dark Core. Getting it within the first 300 kills is incredibly lucky, but that's not it. Only around 100 kills later, and there is a second one. You have a funny feeling you would have been followed. About 250 kills after that, there is their third Dark Core pet, which is just so crazy. They hit a 1 out of 5,000 3 times already, but that's not it. Just around 50 kills after that, they get their 4th Dark Core pet in 669 kills. Oh man, that's so lucky, but also not lucky at all because those aren't worth anything. I think most people would have preferred, well, 3 Elysian sigils, which actually would have been less rare, but still a huge congrats, you already got the pet, times 4. Now coming up next here, we have a player by the name of Wooshi96, and well, this player was doing a little bit of woodcutting. Now it's a little bit hard to see exactly what happened here, but essentially what happened here is this player managed to get 2 woodcutting pets within like 7 or 8 wood chops. That's crazy. Literally both pet drops fit within the same chat window. At this guy's current woodcutting level of 96, he has around a 1 in 70,000 chance of getting the pet per chop. Now just hypothetically, if he got it back to back, that would be about a 1 in 4.8 billion chance of happening. Although there were like 7 chops in between, so it's obviously much less. Still crazy lucky, and congrats on the pet. Okay, so coming in at the number 3 spot for the rarest drops this month is a player by the name of Fetetchie. You know what? Sorry. Now this player managed to get a 3rd Age Druidic Staff from their very first Lucky Impling. Honestly, just finding a Lucky Impling at all is already kind of rare. I've only ever seen 1 or 2. The Implings are incredibly rare, and since they roll on any of the clue drop tables, you can get pretty much literally anything, and generally, you get a bunch of trash. But this amazingly lucky Ironman somehow managed to get a 3rd Age Druidic piece. The 3rd Age Druidic Staff from their very first Lucky Impling. Now that is a big flex if I've ever seen one. much is this thing worth anyway? Okay, I'm pretty sure the price of this item is being manipulated. I don't think it's worth 2 bill, but I think at the very least it's worth around 300 mil or so, which still makes it one of the most expensive clue scroll rewards you can get. Now coming in at the number 2 spot is an Ironman called a Grthy Boi. Now I don't really see a lot of images from the Hallowed Sepulchre, but this has to be probably the luckiest one I've ever seen. A Grthy Boi managed to hit the back-to-back-to-back on the Grand Hallowed Coffin. Now there really only is 2 things you want out of there, a Ring of Endurance, which right now is worth like 60 mil, or the pet. Now this player is so lucky that they managed to hit the back-to-back-to-back. On Hallowed Coffin 385, they got a Ring of Endurance. On Hallowed Coffin 386, they get the pet for the first time as well. And on Hallowed Coffin 387, they get another Ring of Endurance. That is absolutely crazy. The odds of getting a Ring of Endurance are 1 in 200, which granted aren't that high, but it takes a long time to run through 5 floors of the Sepulchre. So they managed to hit a 1 in 200, and then a 1 in 2000 for the pet drop, and then another 1 in 200. Which means the rough odds of getting that back-to-back-to-back is around 1 in 80 million. Come on man, share some of that luck with the rest of us. But seriously, that has got to be one of the most insane images I've ever seen. Well, that would have been the case if it wasn't for our number 1 spot today, and that's by a player by the name of Dost Thou. Now it looks like this player was just kind of casually trying to go do the Western Provinces Hard Diary, which of course, as everyone knows, requires a Zulrah kill. So they go to do the Zulrah kill, 3 minutes and 5 seconds, not too bad. And what do they get? Well, they get a Serpentine Visage and an Uncut Onyx on their very first kill. Getting a double drop at Zulrah is very rare, but we've seen it a fair bit. But I've never seen a double drop from Zulrah on kill count number 1. That's just a whole new level of rarity that I didn't even think was possible. Imagine going to go kill Zulrah for like the first time, and then just pretty much completing Zulrah. So that gives Dost Thou the number 1 spot for this month, so a huge congratulations to them. Now before I go here, I want to give a massive shout out to another new Dragon tier member by the name of Brian Robinson. Thank you so much. You are the 8th person to subscribe to that tier currently. You guys are crazy. Joining Zach Stoppa, Capi, Zyol, James Luft, BradSings, Ocelot, and Kush Patel. Also a big shout out to BirdBot and Basstich for subscribing at the Runite tier. As always, if you guys are looking for another way to support the channel, it would mean a lot, and you'll get access to my video release schedule, get immortalized in my videos, and get a custom Discord role. Anyway guys, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.